face the unknown and ponder the question. What if?
What's going on, all you wild superhero enthusiasts? It's your two favorite anti-heroes here. I'm Logan Myers. It's my good mate over there,
Henry Hill, and we are back today to talk about another great episode. Well, great isn't the word to describe this episode, but another new episode of What If. And this one deals with Uncle Thor here. What if Thor were an only child?
Yep, and this is pretty much the setup. Odin, his father, as we know from the movies, basically gets rid of baby Loki and gives it to the Frost Giant family instead of keeping him. So Thor's the only child syndrome, which I have. Everything's about me. Not really, but I used to be like that. But yeah, you're a party animal. There's do whatever you want. You don't have a sibling to deal with, and that's pretty much the setup of this episode. Thor's a big party animal, drinks a lot. They end up going to Vegas, him and his buddies, and shit goes down.
Shit goes down. This episode is all about Thor getting wild. He's he's drinking every night.
Yep.
He still has all, the similar friends that we've seen from the movies and everybody from Thor. We see a lot of the characters return. We see Jane come back. We see, of course, we'll see Loki in the episode towards the end. Kat Dennings is back as Darcy there in the beginning.
Yep.
We'll see Samuel L. Jackson. Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster from Thor Ragnarok comes back. Colby Smulders. So a lot of good voice acting in this episode. This episode was different than all the rest of the episodes. This one literally didn't have any stakes involved. It just felt weird. It felt off from the other episodes to me. I know they were trying to do something different here, but this one was just, I don't know. This one did not work at all for me. I was pretty bored throughout. Captain Marvel, we saw come back too. And, her and Thor battle throughout the episode. She's trying to get him, back on the right path because he's partying, not using his powers for good. He's messing up his life. So she's trying to beat some sense in him the whole time and get him back on the team. And he's not having it. And I don't know. This episode was very boring to me. I was spacing out, wasn't paying attention fully. It didn't feel like it was going anywhere.
Yeah.
And by the end, I was just kind of happy this episode was over.
Yeah, we have Jane, played by Natalie Portman, returning to voice this character, and she's in love with him, obviously, and he's just a big party animal. And like you said, the stakes weren't very high in this. There was nothing really to it. It was just like more a comedic episode, a lot of comedy, a lot of forced comedy, but it was actually laughable at times. A lot of the characters returning. I love seeing Seth Green as Howard the Duck. He's always really funny and great in everything he's in. But that was pretty much it. This is probably one of the weakest episodes of the season. And basically, just trying to stop Thor. He's a big party animal, messing things up on Earth, and they want to get him back on the right path, having to do with the Shield and Captain Marvel, and Jane trying to get him in the right path and stop drinking so much, and hanging out with the boys like in Vegas where they're at. It's like a bachelor party that never ends. So that's pretty much all the episode was. Not as really appealing to me, not as captivating, just didn't really draw me in as much. The storytelling wasn't as good. Just the best parts about it were the voice actors and some funny scenes in it, and that was about it for me.
It's not a good sign when you can't really give too many details about the episode, which I can't. That means I wasn't paying attention. It wasn't engaging me. Yeah. So right off the bat, something's not right. You mentioned Seth Green coming on and playing Howard the Duck. That was cool seeing him and that cameo. And the biggest thing that I enjoyed out of the episode were the cameos, seeing Jeff Goldblum, hearing his voice, seeing the Grandmaster, go away he was riding one of those little rascals, like when he was driving away. And seeing, a lot of the cameos, seeing the characters. I mean, that was really the best part of the episode. But as far as what happened in the episode, it was just forgettable to me. I mean, if I was Thor, I'd be partying even heavier than that. So, I mean, if that's the most Thor's partying there, he needs to step up his game, because I know that both of us partied harder than that even.
Definitely. That was a normal Tuesday night for us in our younger days when I lived in Vegas. Not to mention there's no cocaine. I was waiting for that. I'm like, this is not believable until cocaine's involved in Vegas. I know that for a fact. So that was just not believable. But they tried something new. It didn't work. Fell flat for me for the most part. Just had a few redeeming qualities to it. But overall, as an episode, it was kind of a mess and forgettable. With that being said, I would give episode 7, What If Thor Were an Only Child, I would give it a 3 out of 5. I give it about a C. So 3 out of 5. Thor hair pieces.
That's a fair assessment. 3 out of 5. I'm going to go a little lower in my assessment. I just was not engaged at all. Didn't really care about what was going on. The cameos were what made the episode bearable, at least a little bit. I saw what they were trying to do, though, show the relationship between Thor and his parents and with his mom, and show how important she was in his life and getting him back on track. Then, they just brought Captain Marvel in to kind of fill in the spaces there, have Thor, have somebody there to battle Thor, have somebody from the Avengers come and kind of save the episode. But overall, I just wasn't into this episode at all very much. It's going to get a low score for me. I'm going to give What If Thor Were an Only Child a 2.5 out of 5 Jane Foster hair pieces.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe she's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
So we want to hear what you guys thought about the newest episode of What If that premiered on Disney Plus this week on Wednesday night. Did you guys hate it as much or not? Did you guys not like it as much as we did? What did you like about it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. With that being said, we have more videos right up here on our YouTube channel. We just released episode 124 of the Cinephellas podcast, and you betcha we got wilder than ever, per usual.
Yes, we did. Real wild.
Things got
That was a
out
great
of control.
episode.
Yeah, it turned out really great. Had a great time with that entire Cinephellas crew, talking movies, TV shows, the Emmy Awards, Norm Macdonald, and much more. So check that out. More episodes of What If. And me and this guy have been shooting a lot of videos for the upcoming 31 Days of Horror this October coming up in the next week. We're going to be trying to release a video every day, but we're talking about a lot of classic films and new horror films, and we'll be releasing that in October. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for lots of great horror movie related October goodness coming from the 31 Days of Horror. We're covering a lot. We have an ambitious schedule. Yep. And we're trying to stick to that. And so far, we're doing a good job with that. We have a lot of older titles to go back and revisit and talk about with you guys that you guys will be excited to see and to, hear our thoughts on them, the way we kind of analyze them and talk about some of the cult classics and our favorites, as well as some new titles that are going to be coming. We got some new October, some shows premiering on the streaming services, and a couple good movies that we're going to be talking about too. So stay tuned, y'all, and stay tuned for a couple more episodes of What If. We're going to be back to review the last 2. It looks like there's 9 in total. So we'll have next week, and then on October 6th is the finale of What If. So we will be back to cover the last 2. This has been our latest review of What If. And we had a great time with you, Wild Rascals. Please join us again next week as we cover the next episode. Until next time, I'm Uncle Thor.
And I'm Uncle Steve. Cheers!